Hello everyone, I am Ashif Ali and you are watching CG How video, the energy hit effect tutorial in Unreal Engine. And as you can see, I have made this hit effect. This ball is coming from the ground here. There is some build up first of all. Here you can see. Then a ball emit from the ground and fly and then hit the ground with this tonish explosion, and there is also a camera shake. So today I will show you this effect, how I created these things, the mesh, the texture, materials and the particle system, each and everything. See. So I stop this and this is my effect. The whole effect is in only one particle system, and you can see here if I play build up, then this ball shoots from here and hit the ground there, and there is explosion. So check out one by one. So first of all, first emitter is ground glow. There is some glow that's scaling. For this I just use a very simple material, this radial ramp. I wanted some glow round shape, and this is scaling our life. As you can see, I have used this size over life. See, the curve is scaling our life, and I have locked the axis because I wanted to face this ground. I don't want to camera facing glow, I wanted the ground facing. If I turn it off, it's now camera facing, and now it's ground facing. So it's just a simple round shape that is scaling and facing the ground. Then second, it is I just duplicated this emitter and just reduce the size and increase the color value. You can see this is more bright and smaller. If I see both of them together, see, this bright part is glow 1 and the fading part is glow 2. And then shockwave. Oops, this emitter is by mistake. Shockwave. For this shockwave, same process. This billboard is not camera facing, ground facing, locked on Z axis, and it is also scaling our life. It has random rotation and scale, rotation over rate. You can see this is rotating. Just the texture and material is different, but very simple. So it's rotating and the scaling, and color are changing from pink to blue. Then some sparks rotating around my globe. For this I use this material radial ramp again, and I use orbit and put the value of rotation only Z axis, so they are rotating only one axis, and these are aligned on velocity, so they are stretching here on Y axis, and it has also lights. Okay, then rays. You can see some rays scaling out and fading. For this I use this conical mesh, cylindrical shape, and this is very basic texture material and is distorting with this noise texture, and it's scaling. so it's scaling out, and also use some color here. Then again I duplicated my rays. This time they are not scaling out, they are just rotating and fading out. See, then I made this meteor that emitting from ground. For this I use this mesh, this distorted mesh. You can create in any 3D software. I created in Maya, just random sculpting. And for this material I used very high glow and used these textures. These are panning. It's very transparent, but you can see here. And this noise texture for the panning, and the base texture was my rock with some normal map. And as you can see, this high intense, and it has also light. For this animation I used velocity, initial velocity, that is 111. Then initial I used velocity over life, so it going up, you can see, and on minus x axis. Then with acceleration is going down. Then if I turn on my sparks are only on one place because these are linked with this meteor. You can see here emitter initial location is meteor. So if I turn on meteor along with this spark, it will follow my meteor. You can see these sparks are following, and it has some orbit for random movement and sphere shape, because you can see this. If I turn this off, you can see they are just emitting from a point, and now it's emitting from the whole meteor. Then this, some chunks emitting from the meteor. For this I use the same mesh that I used for meteor, and material is this. I use this texture that is panning, and I use noise for eroding this, and use this dynamic parameter. So if I just turn it on only this, you can see these spheres just eroding, you can see, with this dynamic parameter here. And if I turn it on with this, these chunks follows the meteor. Then some fire. This fire has a color of light purple in starting, then gray. And for this I use very basic texture material. This is just cloud pattern created in Photoshop. You can use more good smoke texture or sub UV. Then I use this rocks, where my, first of all I will rotate my camera. They are hitting here. I just done it. Okay, so when my meteor hits the ground is here. This particle is not based on collision. I just set it the position. You can see initial location there, and delay. After 2 seconds my rocks emit here, whereas my meteor interact the ground. For these I use this random rock mesh, and I use the material, this very simple texture material. I use this noise texture and just swirl this in Photoshop liquify. And you can, if you want to know how I created this texture, you can watch my tutorial Toon Explosion, because the part here that is emitting a explosion, I have explained whole process of this explosion in red. These are blue, that was red, and in detail I have shown how I created the texture. So this is Meteor and first rock, and for this was my mesh and texture, and it has also light, and it's eroding with dynamic parameter here. I use sphere emitter, so they are spawn and go away from a sphere randomly. Then it has acceleration that pushing them upside, you can say, and they are dissolving by this time parameter. Then I use same emitter, just change the mesh. This time I use sphere and everything is same. Then some glow, same process. I just remove the mesh and use simple glow texture radial ramp. Then again sphere but with high velocity, then this stops because of high drag. And this time this sphere are smaller. And then same rocks, high velocity, and with high drag it stops suddenly. Then rocks 2 again. This time I use sphere but I remove the Z axis, so they are just emitting and creating a ring. And I also remove the color. This time these are black and white because I wanted to show the toonish smoke. Then shockwave. For this shockwave I use sphere, and I have scaled down it here in size over life. On Z axis I put very minimum value, so they are not like sphere, they are now more like shockwave. And for texture material I use this base texture, and this is distorting with this noise texture, and I have separated all the channels. You can see here a different texture in different channel. My red is something like this, then green, then blue is smaller. So I separated all the channels and connected with dynamic parameter, so I can handle each channel in here dynamic parameter in particles. Then sparks. For this spark use this texture and very basic material, and they are just spawning from a sphere. Use orbit for random movement and drag because I wanted to stop them, and little bit acceleration. They are going upward but not so much. Then sparks again. For this sparks I remove Z axis, so they are just spreading on the ground, and rest is same. And initial location is connected in all these because I wanted all to spawn with my rock hits. Then decal. For this decal, I show you the material. You can see there is some decal, then edges are glowing and eroding. For this, I again tell you, if you want to learn this explosion that I have created here with my rock collides, I have a proper tutorial on this. I have shown in detail how I created texture and materials. So in this video I will tell you in short, but you can watch that tutorial, that is toon explosion in Unreal Engine, in my channel CG how you can search. So here what I have done, I have these two texture, I have added these two, then I got this one. Here value step is doing the contrast in this, and I have two value steps. So I am just subtracting from 1 to this one. For example, this is 5 value here, and this is 4. So 5 minus 4 is 1, that is connecting to my emissive, and 1 is only on edges. And I have connected the parameter, this particle color, with the edges, so I can change the color here. Blue, you can see here, this blue, and it locked on z-axis because I wanted the ground facing. Then flash, there is some flash, use this simple texture material, just bursting two particles, it has also light. Then this source, you can see this particle just going up, then with gravity they are going down, and I use this ribbon and connected, you can see source with this source. So these ribbon are creating tail, it has life, it has some color over life. And for this ribbon I use this texture material. This was my tail, I rotated it with custom rotator, then I scaled it because it has space here, now there is no space. Then use this noise texture to distort my tail. So there is my tails. Now see one by one in viewport. First of all, ground glow, the fade one. This is just a round texture, radial RAM, that is camera face, not camera facing, sorry, ground facing, because I have locked the z-axis. This is scaling out. Then ground glow 2, the smaller one and the brighter one. Then shockwave, there is some shockwave that is scaling and rotating randomly and locked on z-axis. Then some rotating sparks around this, and it has also light, you can see light here, and these are rotating because I have orbit on one axis. Then some rays, you can see the conical mesh and the simple ray texture, and is scaling out. Then some more rays here, the smaller one. Then there is a meteor that coming from this ground glow and hit there. Now some rest of my particles follows, not all particles, but some, that the tail of this meteor, like this sparks, just following the sphere, my meteor. Then I use the same mesh and use noise texture to erode it like a chunks, you can see, and it's following my meteor. Then some fire, this fire that has color of life, purple in starting, then gray. Then from here my explosions emitter starts. First is rock. See, this rocks just erodes because I use noise texture in material and it's eroding my mesh. Then I use the spheres, some spheres there, then some glow. You can see this glow. I just zoom. This glow. Then some spheres again. This time the spheres are only on ground. Then some rocks for the ground. Rocks. Then some more rocks. This time these rocks are black and white. I wanted to show smoke. Then some shockwave. Here the shockwave is a sphere. I have scaled down it on Z axis. Then some sparks here, and some more sparks for ground, and it has also light. Then some decal. I have logged this decal on Z axis, so it's ground facing and it's eroding with the glowing edge. Then some flash. Then last is source and some ribbons that connected with the source. See, and if I play from here, I have this camera shake. When my meteor hits the ground, there is some camera shake. See. For this camera shake, I'll show you my blueprint. See, my particle activates here when the event begins, and when it activates, so after 2 seconds of delay, because my meteor takes 2 seconds to go up then collide with ground, so after 2 seconds there is camera shake. For this camera shake, I have used this camera shake blueprint. These are my values for camera shake. And here, because my particle system is about 4 seconds or 5, so after 5 second delay, this deactivates, then again it's connecting to activate. So this is loop, and in loop between 2 seconds I have a camera shake. It takes 2 seconds, then collides, and there's camera shake, and after 5 seconds it's again emits, and after 2 seconds it's again a camera shake. So I hope you learned something with this. This is nice effect. I used most part from my previous tutorial, the toon explosion. I am telling you again, for detailed version you can check that. And if you have any query, just comment below in my video. And subscribe, like and share my videos, and keep learning. Thank you.